I guess Palsteron here, and today let's talk about the post that I just woke up to, which is basically the TLDR that Path of Exile 1 will be next Path of Exile 1 League will be delayed indefinitely. Now, going into the video, I quickly want to say something that a lot of PoE1 players didn't want to say because they know how it comes across, but Path of Exile 1 is currently the best RPG of all time, and it will be for the probably foreseeable future. Until PoE2 fixes a lot of its core issues. The reason a lot of people don't want to say this is because we know how it comes across. It comes across as elitist. It's like, oh, we just want another PoE1. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's a reason why this game has such a dedicated fan base that basically kickstarted PoE2. Now, I am not going to claim like I know how it is to make two games simultaneously. It must be an absolute shit show over there because they've never really done it before. So I have empathy. On the other hand, I will say that I'm very disheartened with the disregard towards Path of Exile 1 to basically learn that all of the people from Path of Exile 1 kind of have been dragged over to Path of Exile 2. I'm honestly shocked how there isn't at least like an absolute skeleton crew working on Path of Exile 1 behind the scenes. I'm not sure if kind of the philosophy of grinding gear games right now is nobody wants to work on it when there's the new shiny thing. All I can tell you is that this is baffling to me. This is the game that has made them big, right? Like this is the game, this is the reason why they're so beloved. This is the reason look at this release schedule right here. This is an incredible release schedule that I didn't thought would ever be broken. And obviously there were like certain months, like we used to complain about weeks of delay, right? And now we have this here. We have 6 months and now indefinite delay. And I just don't know what to say. Now for people who are like, oh, I'm happy they devote everything to Path of Exile 2 because fuck Path of Exile 1. I've never played that game. I never liked that game, right? Or I never got into it. New play experience sucks. I know. I get it. Like there's a ton of good things about PoE 2. What you have to understand is they've been making Path of Exile 1 already with a very small crew over the last few years. It's not like it takes that many people. They have said something like 20. I know there was like this rumor about 8, but it was kind of like 20 to 30 as far as I remember back. That literally just kept Path of Exile 1 going for the last, I don't know, 4 or so years. So I don't think it is crazy to think that you would kind of keep that rolling while everybody else works on this. Now, I don't know how the inner dynamics are. I'm assuming there's like a few people they have to have on Path of Exile 1, like senior designers that are really necessary towards each of them. But I'm just honestly really disheartened by the fact that there has been nothing done. Now, I want to quickly point out a sentence that I found pretty interesting from Jonathan here. I'm just going to play it.
How could we think about making a PoE1 expansion? We still have hundreds of thousands of people who are having bad experiences in PoE2. There are crashes, there are severe in-game balance problems. How could I justify taking some of the most experienced developers we have off PoE2 when it's on fire?
Now, obviously, I understand the sentiment. On the other hand, my answer would be in order to continue the legacy that you've built for the last decade or so. That would be my answer. And it does there have to be sacrifices to be made. I think that this is actually, I know a lot of you guys will point out, well, PoE2 is going to be the future cash cow. I understand that. Although, don't underestimate how much money Path of Exile 1 leagues make. I just want to say that because we looked at the revenue numbers the other day. You'd be surprised, like, even compared to how many early access keys they sold. But in general, like, this is just goodwill towards people that have supported you for over the last decade. My issue with that statement is if it's already this bad in early access, which doesn't have to adhere to any release schedule, well, we can basically kiss Path of Exile 1 goodbye once the release schedule comes around, I guess. Because I guess we're always going to swap. If there's like something on fire in PoE2, we're just going to take all the PoE1 players, all the PoE1 devs, have no devs left working on the game. We're just going to like, I don't know, swap. And whenever PoE1 needs a league, we're going to sprinkle like, I don't know, 5 devs over there. I don't want to be too harsh on this though, because Jonathan did admit to these and he did admit that these are like internal problems. So I won't give too much. And also, I don't fucking know. What the fuck would I know? But the next thing I'm kind of sad about is the missed opportunity here. Honestly, that missed opportunity for me is that PoE2 players could have tried out Path of Exile 1 and the reason I'm saying this is because Path of Exile 2 is the best tutorial for Path of Exile 1. Because the game actually has all these things that PoE1 could have had as well that they just ignored for whatever reason. Like, for example, tooltips, right? A more clear campaign, learning by doing. If you got to maps in PoE2, you can play PoE1. You're gonna be okay. Like, you understand. Like, there's so many things that are copied over from PoE1 that you're going to enjoy the game. And there's a good chance you're gonna enjoy the game. Now, this would have even been more valuable because you could have increased the quality of feedback. People could have seen where some of the PoE1 players are coming from, right? They could have given their own take on it. Maybe something that isn't like, for example, I'm obviously nostalgic about the game. I have a lot of like biases, right? I'm like in my bubble. But people who have a fresh experience of PoE1 could have kind of discerned what is actually valuable, maybe even for PoE2, and what isn't. So I just don't really understand why this wasn't really a thing. I actually thought they would put out a low effort 3.26 to keep people at bay, to kind of overlap, and then give them some breathing room for Path of Exile 2. But I guess the numbers just speak for themselves, and yeah, this is their priority for now. Now, if there was anything good coming out of this video, in my opinion, it is the fact that Jonathan clearly said just how bad he thinks Endgame is, which I totally agree with. I think Endgame in Path of Exile 2 currently, meaning Endgame activities, is really, really bad, right? Like, it is, I'm falling asleep while doing maps. There's no rush whatsoever that you would gain in other games like PoE1, for example. Overall, I will say I think this is a really good response to what was not really a good topic to begin with. Like, you can't really make this video sound good, but I think Jonathan did a good job. The issue is I'm just baffled by the utter disregard that GGG is giving to the game that has made them and that is still to this day regarded as the best ARPG of all time. That is like the spiritual successor of Diablo 2, that has performed this well for over a decade. And to hear that they can just like decide to have 0 people working on it for I don't know how many months is just this quickly, right? After PoE2, like PoE2 is only in early access. Like, it's only going to get worse from here. It's just baffling to me. And honestly, yeah, I think disheartening just kind of fits. Like, we've already been getting scraps over the last few leaks, basically just like leaks cobbled together with assets from PoE2. We still have Elder Exarch after all these years, right? It is very clear where their priorities lie, so I'm not going to like pretend like that's not a thing. But yeah, now I don't know what to expect anymore. If the next league isn't like an absolute killer, this is another problem. It's like the expectations are only getting bigger and bigger the longer we wait. But we know they haven't been working on anything, so 3.26 is not going to be especially big or anything like that. So yeah, I'm at this point assuming that Path of Exile 1 is going to go into like, I don't know, slumber mode. We're gonna get some like half-assed leaks probably. I don't know, like GG makes really good leaks. Half-assed is still really good, right? Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I'm just a little bit surprised is all. And done yapping.